Shocking betrayal. My ex-boyfriend cheated on me twice. Ultimate revenge story. I'm a 26-year-old woman living in the bustling city of New York. I've always considered myself to be a strong and independent person, but my recent experience with my ex-boyfriend Jake tested my limits. Jake and I had been together for 3 years, and I thought we had something special. We were young, in love, and passionate about each other. But little did I know, Jake had been cheating on me with not one, but 2 other women. It all started when I found a series of text messages on Jake's phone from a number I didn't recognize. The messages were sexual and explicit, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I immediately confronted Jake, and he confessed to having an affair with a woman he met at a bar. I was devastated, but I wanted to give Jake a chance to make things right. I told him that if he was truly sorry, he needed to end things with the other woman and prove to me that he was committed to our relationship. Jake agreed, and for a while, things seemed to be getting better. But then I discovered that Jake had been lying to me. He had not only continued his affair with the first woman, but had also started seeing a second woman behind my back. I was furious and hurt, but I knew I couldn't let Jake get away with what he had done. That's when I came up with a plan for the ultimate revenge. I decided to teach Jake a lesson he would never forget by seducing him and then rejecting him in the most brutal way possible. I started by sending Jake flirty texts and pictures, slowly escalating our interactions until he was begging me to meet up with him. I agreed, and we made plans to meet at a hotel room. When Jake arrived, he was clearly excited to see me. He couldn't keep his hands off me, and we quickly ended up in bed together. But as we started to get intimate, I realized that I couldn't go through with my plan. I couldn't bring myself to hurt Jake the way he had hurt me. Instead, I decided to take a different approach. I told Jake that I knew about his affairs and that I was disappointed in him. I explained that I had every right to be angry and hurt, but that I didn't want to stoop to his level. Jake was shocked and ashamed, and he begged for my forgiveness. But I knew that he didn't deserve it. Instead, I told him that we were over and that he needed to leave. As Jake gathered his things and left the hotel room, I felt a sense of satisfaction and empowerment. I had taken control of the situation and had refused to let Jake manipulate me any longer, but my revenge didn't stop there. I knew that Jake would be embarrassed and humiliated by what had happened, and I wanted to make sure that everyone knew the truth about his infidelity. I started by telling all of our mutual friends about Jake's affairs. I shared screenshots of the text messages and pictures as proof, and I made sure that everyone knew what a sleaze Jake really was. Next, I took to social media. I posted about Jake's infidelity on all of my social media accounts, making sure to use his full name and tagging him in the posts. I received an outpouring of support from my followers, and many of them shared their own stories of being cheated on. Finally, I decided to take things to the next level. I hired a private investigator to dig up even more dirt on Jake. The investigator found evidence of even more affairs, as well as a history of lying and manipulation. I compiled all of the evidence into a dossier and sent it to Jake's boss, his family, and anyone else who might be interested. I made sure that Jake's infidelity was exposed for all to see. In the end, my revenge was brutal and effective. Jake's life was ruined, and he was forced to confront the consequences of his actions. I, on the other hand, felt empowered and in control. I had taken back my power and had refused to let Jake hurt me any longer. Looking back on the experience, I'm proud of the way I handled things. It wasn't easy, but I knew that I had to stand up for myself and protect my own interests, and in the process, I learned a valuable lesson about trust and relationships. I now know that I deserve to be with someone who respects me and treats me with kindness and loyalty, and I won't settle for anything less. So if you're ever in a situation where someone has hurt you or betrayed your trust, remember my story. Stand up for yourself, take control of the situation, and never let anyone manipulate you or bring you down. You deserve better.